Veronica Petrowski, and I was born November 9th, 1924, at Batavia, Wisconsin. My education? Well, we had gone to a regular little country school at different times, and one last one that we'd gone to, and I must have been from 6th, 7th to 8th, no, 6th, 5th, 6th, and 7th maybe, and that was called the Little Green School, and it was out in the country, and it was about 1.25 miles to 1.5 miles to school. And I used to set the time. I'd go in and look so that I judged it at different times going back and forth so that I had that down pat. I could leave like 10 minutes to school and I was there on time, and I had over 1.25 miles to 1.5 miles to walk to school. So I had worked that out so I could get to school on time and I didn't have to leave real early. This was taken when I was in senior in high school, because that's the only class I took. But I was out of school. I graduated in 1939, and then I went, when I was working at the Bird and Schaefer Trucking Company in Kewaskum, I was interested in things of helping her with bookwork as well as helping her in the house doing up and baking bread and different things. And then I went, they said, well, you're so interested in all that stuff, why don't you go up and see if you can't get into the high school there in Kewaskum? And I said, well, who would want to take me after I'm out of school so long? They said, I bet he'd take you. So then another fellow that I was going to, he had graduated from there. So he says, no, I'll go with you. We'll go up and talk to him. So, and he accepted me to take senior year in Kewaskum High School. And then I took all the bookkeeping and whatever I could take for that whole year and sang with the choir and different things like that. And when they had a play, I was in the play. And different things like that. I enjoyed that year in Kewaskum. I went to school just like the rest of them did, and wore short skirts just like the rest of them did. There's so many different things that you can put on. But I probably don't practice enough like I should. But I love to play the piano anyway. We got to starting with music, and that's where my sister and I began to sing songs and in harmony. And then my mother said one day, why don't you put a yodel in those verses that come in between? Well, I said, what's that? And she said, well, it's a yodel. And I said, I don't know what you're asking us to do. I said, does Aunt Bernie yodel? And she says, I don't think so, but you can ask her. So we went there then, and I asked Aunt Bernie, do you yodel? And she says, no, but you girls should be putting that in all those songs that you're singing. So eventually, I got the drift of what yodeling meant and what you did. So then I eventually taught myself, and then I taught my sister, and then we put a lot of your different yodels and things in songs, and it did make it sound real nice. So that was the way we had to learn a lot of that by ourselves, by just having an idea of what we had to do. And my dad had the concertina, so then she always when it came time to wipe dishes, Helen had to get that concertina in her hand, and she was learning on it. And I said one day, I said, how come every time it comes time to do something, that's the time you want to practice on the concertina? Well, I still did dish wiping and all that kind of stuff when she was still practicing. Well, she learned how to play it.